All right, yo, what's up, Tony? Welcome to Keeping It 100. Boom. I wanted to ask you something right off the bat because you and me in all the time I was there, we didn't have too much interaction. But I did want to ask you about something that I thought was kind of weird in retrospect. You remember that the time that you were told to talk about Mick Foley winning the championship in Raw?
Yeah, I sure do, yeah.
And it ended up kind of backfiring, right? Because everybody actually switched over to see the championship.
Right. Yeah.
When that was being told to you, what were you thinking? Like, I don't think this is a really good idea, or we're in a war and F it. You know, what was going through your head? Because I had to do shit I didn't want to do either, but, you know.
Yeah, well, you know, Conan, it's kind of a double edge here. A lot of people think that maybe that Eric came out to me or said something into my ear, which he didn't.
Right.
He sent Annette Yoder out. Everybody remembers Annette.
Yep.
Who was
a
like
producer, right?
Right, and she was kind of the go-between. A lot of times they would talk to me in my ear, but she actually walked out to the set, and I'm sure it was in a break or something, and she said, I need to talk to you, so I took my headset off, and she said, they switched the title to Mick Foley in the WWF. Eric wants you to really shit on it.
Right.
And I remember looking at her saying, let me talk to Eric. She said, well, he sent me out. And I don't know what she said, but I couldn't talk to Eric.
Right.
And I said, are you sure he wants me to do this? Because this sounds really out of the ordinary. So I didn't know if it really was him or maybe her and Craig Leathers were doing business on their own.
Well, let me tell you something. The reason I brought that specific incident up is because like about a month or 2 months before that happened, I had gotten into a big fight with Eric about different things, right? And I remember when I was sitting down with him, he kept burying Mankind. And he kept going, can you believe that they think this is what a star looks like? I go, Eric, you have to understand that a star doesn't look like Ultimate Warrior anymore. It's what the people like, not what you think. And this guy's actually over. I know that mindset of, you know, girls want to have to fuck you and guys want to be like you and shit like that. Like that's kind of thrown out the door right now, you know?
Yeah.
And he really didn't understand that. So I just remember that shortly after that happened. And I was like, wow, Eric, you know, really doesn't get it that Foley is a star.
Right, right.
You know?
And he really doesn't get it that, to me, Conan, the more you talk about the other team or the other.
It's Husey. Hello.
The other team or the other promotion, the more you're going to pique people's interest about going over there, especially on the title switch. And I knew that, so I double clutched and said, okay, I'll do it, because the other side was, hell, I could have gotten fired.
Oh, 100%. 100%. He wasn't afraid to tell. And I'm sure, you know, we had Eric on the show. It isn't cool to ambush him, and I don't feel it's an ambush because I would say this to him. But I'm sure there's a lot of shit he regretted. You know what I'm saying? And he was he was super under pressure. And because there were a couple of times where he told me point blank, if you don't do this, you will be fired, you know?
Right.
And like one of the big things that me and him fought for a long time was, you know, him not taking off Rey Mysterio's mask. And I remember Rey either had gotten hurt or had gotten sick like the week or 2 weeks before, and he was actually thinking of not going. And he called and he was like, if you're even thinking of not going, you know, we will release you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.